You are watching William Paterson University Television.
Well, welcome back to the desk. The Pioneer baseball team is off to an impressive 2-0 start this season. And Steven, Jimmy, Josh, and Chris are here in studio to break it down. Fellas, Pioneers won on opening day against Stevens 10-3. Steven, we'll go to you for the Stevens question.
Yeah,
what are your takeaways from that game?
Yeah, so first we're going to take a look at the overall box score of the game and some highlights, because opening day, it exceeded my expectations, of course. They took a huge 10-3 win, out-hit them, double-digit hits, 11-7, 0 errors. They put a donut on the board for that, and the starting pitcher strikeouts. I mean, it was very impressive. The Stevens game, here's what I have to say. The offense, very consistent. I think almost every inning, they put at least one run on the board. The defense, like I said, 0 errors. The biggest thing, the starting pitcher for Stevens, Danny Poitamani, I was told he's a top 5 starting pitching prospect for Division III athletes for the MLB. So the Pioneers potentially faced an MLB caliber pitcher, and they lit him up. Pioneers, opening day, perfect for me. It really was. Jimmy?
Yeah, it's like Steve said, the Pioneers played an all-around great game, pitching-wise, offensively. Chris Babb stayed cool in a couple innings. He ran some trouble in the first and second inning. I believe he put the first 2 men on with no outs and was able to get out of the jam. The offense came alive instantly. We're up, I believe, 4-0 after the second inning. Like Steve said, they made no errors, and they took advantage of the errors that Stevens made. Stevens played a very sloppy game. We got to call that game. They didn't look prepared for that game. The Pioneers were. They came out there and they just took care of business, and Stevens didn't know what hit them.
Josh?
Just going off what you guys said about that offense. This offense is stacked all around from top to bottom. I mean, everyone's consistent when they hit, and I just love how this team on defense committed no errors in that game. That's really one of the main reasons why they won.
Chris?
Steven, you discussed the caliber of the other team's pitcher. Chris Babb outdueled him, which is something great to say about our veteran pitcher here at William Paterson. Chris Babb has had a great career so far, and he's looking to cap it off with a fantastic senior year. He couldn't have started it better by having a 1-run, 5-inning outing out here.
And the Pioneers capitalized off that win the next day with a big win against Widener, 10-8. Chris, take us through that game. What did you see from the Pioneers there?
Extremely exciting game as we check out the box score and some highlights. We saw Corey Martinez, the other senior starting pitcher for the Pioneers. Steven, you were on the call with me and Josh. It was just a very exciting game from start to finish, back and forth, runs through the middle innings. The Pioneers ended up taking it 10-8. 13 hits for the Pioneers, which is an advantage for them. They had 3 errors. Pretty rough there in that category. But outside of that, the highlight of the game for me was Steve Yellen's home run. Obviously, absolute no doubter. Steve called it a moonshot on air, and it was a fantastic call, by the way. But the Pioneers set the tone in this game, and they never backed down. They went down in the 7th, they went down in the 8th, and still came back, fought back. The Pioneers are here to stay, it looks like.
Absolutely. They were down 3 times in this game. They never backed down. They really didn't show any time they gave up in this game. And that's what I liked about this team. Even when they were down 3 times, they always found a way to come back. Take away the errors is a whole different ball game. The errors really cost them in these few innings. But overall, this Pioneer offense, again, I can't stress it enough, is so stacked.
Jimmy?
Yeah, these are definitely the games that are the most satisfying to win for a baseball team, the back-and-forth ones, the very exciting ones. Now, it seems like pitching-wise, the Pioneers didn't have the best game. Neither team did, and they committed 3 errors in the field, not what you want to see. You saw what happened to Stevens. They committed 3 errors. They lost the game pretty bad. But shout out to Eric Rosenberg, who came in, pitched the final 2 2/3 innings, got the win. The Pioneers show resiliency. Like you said, with Steve Yellen hitting the home run, they were down 3 times. To be able to fight back all 3 times and come away with the victories feels so good for the Pioneer baseball team.
Yeah, I really liked what you guys said about the no quit in the team. It seemed every inning they got down, they would hop right back into the lead, or at least tie the game. The umpires, a little iffy on the calls. Young guys stepping up huge. Obviously, we're going to be discussing that in a few seconds. But the biggest thing, Corey Martinez, he was able to force so many ground balls. In the first 3 innings, he had 6 ground balls forced for outs, which that just helps your defense. The errors, I would subtract 1 because the ball hit off of Matt Farrar's glove. It was a diving play. Nothing really you can do about that. But again, this offense, firepower was insane. Scored another double-digit amount of runs. Just really showing what this team could do.
It's easy to see after the first 2 games that there's a bevy of talent on the Pioneers that are really contributing to this 2-0 start. Steven, we'll go to you first. who sticks out to you most as an impact player on the team?
Chris, you said him earlier, Steve Yellen. The guy's built like a house, and he's behind the plate. So far, he's hitting .333, 3 RBIs, 3 hits, and 2 extra base hits, which is impressive for a bigger guy. So much power. Hit I think 400-plus foot home run to take the lead against Widener in the bottom of the 8th. He's got a rocket arm defensively. He's already thrown out 2 guys. He had an error in the Widener game, which cost a run. Everyone's going to make mistakes, of course. And he's only a sophomore, which is incredible. He transferred in this year and took the starting job from Eric Bruin. So he's clearly got a motivation behind him and a will to just get better.
Jimmy?
Well, Steve, like I said, we got to call the Stevens game, and I loved what I saw out of Chris Babb to get the opening day nod and go up against a nationally ranked pitcher and outduel him. Let's see, on the season he had 7 strikeouts. The 4 walks are maybe a little concerning, nothing too bad. He ran some trouble during that Stevens game and was able to stay cool, got out of it, gave up only 4 hits, only 1 run, got aided by his defense, looked very solid out there, didn't look nervous. I like what I saw at Chris Babb, and I think he's going to be huge for this Pioneer baseball team this year.
Josh?
I'll talk about another sophomore by the name of Carson Weiss, first baseman. He gets in front of the ball. He's always diving after it, always making big plays. He's averaging .333. He has 2 hits, 4 RBIs, and all those RBIs come off sac flies and sac hits. So he's a huge contributor on the offensive ball.
Danny Carter, another sophomore in this class. I think everyone that has to face the Pioneers knows who Danny Carter is because he gets a bunch of off-speed pitches and he just manages to throw his hands out there and take it the other way. It's just superior talent. He's hitting .444, had 3 hits versus Widener. He has 3 RBIs on the season, hasn't made an error yet. He's a 5-tool player, like you say all the time, Steve.
Yeah.
That's great. It's great to hear that the Pioneers really contributing around the board. They're off this weekend, but they host Farmingdale on Wednesday. Stephen, we'll go to you here. What are some things they need to lock up with to get this W?
You can never have too much power hitting, and that's the biggest thing for me. There's so many guys on the team that could easily hit the ball over the fence, but it's also about hitting to the gaps and doing your job, like you said, Josh. Sac flies, sacrifices, stuff like that. You know, Steve Yellen obviously hit the huge home run, but other than that, I've really not seen much power hitting. I would love to see that. Like I said, you can never have too much. And the only issue with power hitting is it might rise up the strikeouts a little bit when you bat. But again, power hitting drives in runs and creates more opportunities to score.
Jimmy?
Well, if you want to be successful, you need good starting pitching. And what we saw at Chris Babb on Saturday was just that. And this Pioneer baseball team, you want to be able to, you don't want to get down early. You want your pitcher to come out there, look very solid, and you want to be able to hold on to that momentum. And when you give your starting pitcher the run support like Babb got on Saturday, he can stay cool. You saw what happened on Sunday. They had to really fight. It wasn't the easiest win for them. They need just a good quality start in these games, and this Pioneer team can absolutely go far.
Absolutely. Josh, what you got?
As you guys know, I always say defense wins championships. And this defensive team is really good, but there were some minor struggles against that Widener game, a few errors that kind of cost them runs, which had to make them come back a few times. So if they can lock down that defense a little bit more, have Yellen be able to throw the ball to second a little bit more consistently, then this team's going to have no problem in winning big games.
Chris, quickly, what do you have?
The ability to create and produce runs. They get on base and they have no problem sacrificing for each other, putting the bunt down, sac fly, selfless team. They want runs however they can get them.
Sounds good. Well, good luck to all our Pioneers over the coming week. We'll keep it on the diamond to get called up to the big leagues to talk spring training baseball right after this. Keep it locked.